Sound Station, AM 1220, KHTS. This is Randall Winter with Randall Winter Construction and Ricardo Corrales with Ricardo Heating and Air. Thanks for coming here, Ricardo.
Thank you, Randy.
Good to see you. So we've been talking about thermostats, heat exchangers, different types of heating units. Sometimes I'm on a job and we have two floors and they have one AC unit, and then sometimes they have two. Can you tell me some of the pros and cons of having two versus one, first of all?
Well, the the pros are that you don't have to worry about two systems, repairs, maintenance.
But they're not as efficient, are they?
Well, they're the same efficiency, I'm sure. But what you have in a two-story home, you do need to have two controls, or if you can, two systems, of course. But because you're always going to be warmer upstairs, and you're going to be colder down below on the first floor. So you're always going to have that battle where it's too cold downstairs, too hot upstairs. You're never going to be comfortable.
So can they zone it, or what can you do?
There's a system that splits your one unit into two, and it's called zoning.
Okay.
And what gets done is that we install automatic dampers that you can open and close automatically, and there's a control board that controls everything. The system, the dampers, and then also you get another thermostat for the either upstairs, wherever you're missing the thermostat, upstairs or downstairs, and then you can operate the system independently. So if you only need heating upstairs, downstairs, because you're warm upstairs, then it only works for downstairs. You're only heating your downstairs. And then in the summer, obviously when you're hotter upstairs on the second floor, you just turn it on for the second floor, your air conditioner, and it just works for upstairs. It doesn't cool the downstairs. So that way you can control your temperature better if you have just one system.
Okay. So 2 units really would not necessarily, but is necessary.
Would be the ideal way to go.
It is better.
Right.
But it's too hard, believe me, right, to change it once your house is
A lot of
built.
homes are built with one system, one unit on a 2-story level house.
Yeah.
And it's very expensive to add a second system to divide the house. And then if you do that, the one unit that's already there is going to be too large for the floor that it's going to service. So you actually need to change both. You need to add 2 systems, brand new systems, and size them properly.
Well, I do know that the requirements and balancing and all the city, county, state, federal government has changed, has become more stringent with our environment. But with that change, they have some sort of rating. Can you tell me a little bit? What's it called?
The air conditioners are rated by what's called SEER rating, which is SEER, and stands for Seasonal Energy Efficiency Rating. The standard efficiency rating is 13, which is what we're allowed to install.
That's a minimum we can
That's
install.
the minimum, but it's definitely higher than a 10-year-old unit out there. And it goes from 13, it goes 14, 15, 16, 18, up to 20. There's some units that can even put out 21 SEER rating, which is really, really good. It saves you a lot of energy consumption.
It costs more money. Now, they did change the Freon. I don't know. I'm getting a little sidetracked here, but when you go up in SEER, do you go up in different Freons, or
no?
So it's the same Freon.
It's the same Freon. We're actually towards the end of phasing out the old refrigerant, which is the R22. A lot of people know it by Freon. We're replacing it with a new Freon label R410A, and some people recognize it by Puron. So that's your new refrigerant for your new air conditioning systems.
And they change that because of the ozone or something?
Right. It's ozone friendly. The old refrigerant depletes the ozone. This new refrigerant is not.
And that's one of the things I think people need to know out there. Sometimes the Freon tends to escape because it's under pressure, right?
Right.
Especially when it's working. So if you have even the smallest leak, eventually you're going to lose some Freon. It's going to go in the air. So if it's going to go in the air and you want to do the right earthly thing to do, is you want to step your unit up to one that is Puron rather than the old Freon.
That's correct.
And it's not something a homeowner's going to do, though.
No, you
in
have to
fact,
be
the-
specialized and licensed to do this.
Yeah, because I know we're adding a room over there. I got our concrete guy over there, Mr. Bragdon, taking out the slab for me. We're putting a new slab in for a new addition, and you had to move the compressor for me, and I can't move it because if I cut those lines, what happens?
Then you let all the gas, the Freon out.
All the Freon goes up in the air, and that's expensive too.
That's expensive and that's against the law.
Right, so we don't want to do that. So you sent your guys out there this morning.
Yes.
They put a special pump on it, right?
Right, to reclaim the refrigerant
And you put it back in the tanks and store it.
and store it. We remove the air conditioner and then come back at a later time and
Put it back
reinstall
in.
it.
Okay. So that's really an important thing for you homeowners out there. And part of the checkup that you do, Ricardo, or you guys do, is when they go out there, is they check. Oh, thanks, Kyle, for turning that air down. You're wasting energy here. You need an automatically controlled one. One of the things your guys do is they have a measuring tool, if you will, to determine how much pressure and how much Freon is in.
Yes, we have gauges that check the pressures in the air conditioning units, and we also, of course, take other measurements, amp drop for the compressors and your temperatures at your ducts to make sure everything is within range where it's supposed to be at.
Okay. One of the other things I remember we used to do is, people will say, I don't feel any air coming, but more and more in the more efficient units, you don't get that gust of wind anymore. The idea is to be more efficient. It has to be just like pushing cool air out more subtly, like it just got subtle here, so that it's not wasting as much energy, right?
Right. And I'll tell you, Randy, one of the main issues in the industry that we've been having for a while is that a lot of contractors that are mainly not licensed contractors do not size the duct to the room properly. So that's when you get a lot of gush of air coming through, because it's either too large, or if some rooms are not getting the sufficient amount of airflow to it, it may be too small. So you really need to have your ducts checked to make sure they're sized properly. If you're having airflow issues or balance issues in your home, then more than likely it's your ductwork. So that should be checked, periodically also.
Okay. Well, thanks, Ricardo. Ricardo's Heating and Air. I appreciate you giving us all this wonderful information about our heaters and our air conditioners. This is Randall Winter with Randall Winter Construction at Santa Clarita's hometown station, AM 1220, KHTS.